Mazda3 hatchback with SKYACTIV technology. One of the neat things that Mazda wanted to do when they were visioning this car was they wanted it to still be fun to drive, they wanted it to be fuel efficient, and they wanted to make sure that it was also reduced in emissions. We've never had the hatchback before available in the 2-liter motor. So not only does the car get 39 miles per gallon on the highway with the hatchback, but it's also the least expensive hatchback we've ever had. So it's a great price point, very competitive. Let me tell you a bit how they got the fuel economy. It has our new SKYACTIV motor. What they did was they rethought the piston technology is the first thing, and it's got the volcano top piston. There's a hole in the top of the piston, and it uses high pressure fuel that goes in, I believe it's 6,400 psi that we use versus a normal 36 psi. So huge difference. It actually has more pressure than the Speed 3. So very efficient. By pressurizing the fuel in this volcano top, you get a more efficient burn. And what that means is it's cooler and the power is more directional, so you don't have the heat buildup. Heat actually causes parasitic loss in the volume. So even though we have a smaller motor, it actually has similar power to the 2.5 liter. You've got 155 horsepower. The other thing that they looked at in the engine was reducing mass. By taking mass out of the motor, you get more efficiency in that system. Visually, from the outside of the car, they've had this blue trim ring, so you can see it from the outside. It's got a different cover on the top of the motor. The other thing they did with this motor that was really important was they went to a higher compression. Americans as consumers only want to use 87 octane. They're not receptive to the 91 octane like they are in Europe. In Europe, we'll eventually be at 14:1 compression ratio. On this car, regular in the United States, it's a 12:1 compression ratio. Most cars are 9.5 to 10, even 10.5. So 12 is very high. They're getting more power out of the fuel that we're using. In our upcoming CX-5, they'll be able to go all the way up to 13 because they'll have the 4.2.1 exhaust. There's not room for it in this car at this stage, and so, but it's something to look forward to. The next thing they did to try to maintain or improve fuel economy was they redesigned the transmission. They went to a 6-speed transmission. So you have an extra gear, which allows it to be more efficient. It's always in the right gear at the right time. But they wanted to be different than what you have in some of our competitors. A normal transmission uses a torque converter. But the torque converters are less efficient at speed. And so what they've done, the torque converter only works at speeds up to 5 miles an hour. So you have a very smooth parking lot takeoff. And at that point, it switches to the dual clutch that allows a direct connection to the motor. So it feels more like a manual transmission as you're driving. They've also cut weight in the transmission. Even though it has an extra gear and has all this cool technology, it actually weighs less and it increases fuel economy. The motor, by going to the high compression ratio with volcano top piston, they've been able to improve fuel economy just on the motor by 15% while having 15% more power. In the transmission, it's in the 7 to 8% range in efficiency that they've been able to improve it. But all of these pieces come together to create a better driving experience that's more fuel efficient and still has lower emissions. And so we're very excited. You'll notice when you go out for a drive in the car, when we're in parking lot speeds, just getting out of the parking lot, you'll notice it's very smooth. You're very connected to the car. What I was really surprised about in driving the car was how much different it feels compared to the old iTouring. And I like to do it by flooring the car. I know this is a 39 mpg car, but I've never giggled so much in my life as driving this car and having it be more than I expected. And when I think about owning that car over the next 5 to 7 years, I think about, okay, if I've got 10 miles per gallon better than the 2.5 liter, because we went from 39 mpg on this car compared to the 29 mpg in the automatic 2.5 liter, that's huge. That's 30%. That's $700 a year depending on fuel economy and how many miles. You think about that, 5 years, $3,500. But so let's hop in, we'll go for a drive, and you'll be very excited to get to enjoy this car.